For a violation of probation in the hearing. Good morning, please say your name for the record.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. Lori Bumpus on behalf of the probation department.
Your Honor, Pauline Soroki on behalf of the defendant.
Ms. Giacomo, say your name.
Paulette Diacono.
Ms.
And Tamika Horn appearing on behalf of the people, P70303.
Okay, Mr. Gaiman, can you say your name, sir? Mr. Gaiman,
I'm sorry, ma'am. Yes, I'm here. Samuel Gaiman from Portable Testing Services.
Mm-hmm.
Ms. Giacomo, you have been doing that all throughout this morning. I don't like it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's like-
I'm sorry.
It's like stage whispers.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So-
I did not know.
Okay. All right, so this is set for a violation of probation hearing. I'm not sure, Ms. Soroki, how your client wish to proceed?
Well, I think that she denies testing positive, so.
Statement done.
All right.
Ms. Horn, are you around?
Yes, Your Honor. And due to the defendant's denial of testing positive, the people would like to set this for a hearing.
Are we prepared to do the hearing today, or do we need to come back?
I believe we need to come back. Is that correct, Ms. Soroki? The last time I did one of these, it was a matter of them denying or accepting responsibility, and then it was set for hearing. A probation violation hearing where she would be, the matter would be reviewed by the court.
I feel like everyone's ready to go.
Can I interject?
Sure.
Your Honor, in this case, Mr. Jacknaw actually appeared in court last week. That was on November 18th, and it was adjourned today for the probation department to contact Mr. Gaiman at ATS, who is willing to testify to the positive test results. So it was adjourned today for that matter, Your Honor.
Okay.
The court declined to let's just go. I mean,
Thank you.
so did you want to make any opening statement?
No, Your Honor, the people waive opening statement.
Okay, you want to call your first witness, Officer Bumpus?
Let's see, let me get my questions out. Okay, probation officer Bumpus.
Yes.
Raise your
Okay.
right hand, ma'am.
Thank you.
Officer Bumpus, do you swear or affirm to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, put your hand.
And please state your name for the record.
Yes, Lori Bumpus on behalf of the probation department.
And where are you currently employed?
36th District Court Probation Department.
How long have you been a probation officer with the 36th District Court?
35 years in January of 2023.
And how long, please describe any training you've received as it relates to screenings.
As far as screenings, our job as probation officers are to make the referrals to the drug testing facilities, and they handle the rest.
And what drug testing facility was used in this matter?
ATS, Affordable Testing Services.
Okay. And to your knowledge, what are the probation conditions for Miss Dajakanal?
Yes, she was ordered by the court to attend outpatient and or inpatient treatment. She was ordered to attend AA. She was ordered to complete alcohol highway safety education. She was to submit to drug urinalysis. She was not to consume any alcohol. This is an alcohol case. She was also assessed fines and costs of $585.
And to your knowledge and belief, have those conditions been violated?
Yes.
Okay, as to testing, and the conditions, to your knowledge, based on your report, how has the defendant violated testing?
Yes, and this, Mr. Jackanaw does have a medical marijuana card. I'm not sure if this court will actually honor that card. Usually it is honored. As far as the testing, she was referred for testing. Since being placed on probation, she's tested, her tests were September the 2nd, she did test positive for marijuana, negative for all other drugs. September 22nd, she did test positive for cocaine and marijuana. October 27th, she failed to report as instructed for testing. October 29th, she tested positive for cocaine and marijuana. And the latest test, November 14th, she failed to report for testing.
Okay, and that was November 14th.
Yes.
And as her probation officer, are those all violations of her probation conditions?
Yes, I would like to report that since the violation has been submitted, November 18th, I'm in receipt of a letter from Detroit Wayne Integrative Health Network that she is scheduled on December 1st of 2022 for her appointment at All Wellbeing Services for mental health and the substance abuse. Her appointment is scheduled at 1 p.m. that day. So she has shown proof that she is now in the process of attending treatment. We have also received proof of her attending AA. We have it for the months of September, October. I have not received her November report. She has the information on the alcohol highway safety class. She hasn't attended that yet, but I did not submit the violation for that because she has time for that.
Thank you very much. Nothing further at this time of this witness, Your Honor.
Any cross, Roki?
Yes, Ms. Bumpus, good morning.
Good morning.
So when was she placed on probation?
She was placed on probation August the 22nd.
And when you did an original assessment, was there any use of cocaine noted at that time?
I would have to go back through the substance abuse assessment that was done to actually see if she acknowledged cocaine. From memory, I don't believe there was ever any mention of cocaine.
And does she have some kind of medical condition going on at this time that you're aware of?
She has reported to me that she does have some medical conditions going on.
And that would include receiving chemotherapy
Yes.
and include drugs for her cancer treatment?
Yes.
And did you ask her for a list of those drugs?
No, she has not submitted that to our department. I've requested that she submit proof of her actual diagnosis, etc. She may have submitted a listing of medications initially when the assessment was done, but at that time, I don't believe she had been diagnosed with the cancer diagnosis at that time. She had some other physical challenges, but I don't believe it was noted that was going on at the time. I believe she reported that she was diagnosed in early January, if I'm not mistaken. She could tell you exactly.
So if you are not an expert on the science of the different medications and how they would affect a urine screen, are you?
I am not, but that's why Mr. Gaiman is here from ATS. He is very knowledgeable.
Miss Bumpus, I'm
he's
just
very-
asking you, Miss Bumpus, I'm just asking you if
No,
you.
I am not. No.
I have nothing further.
Can you redirect Ms. Horn?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, the people would redirect and simply ask Ms. Bumpus, was part of her probationary period not to consume any illicit drugs?
Drug testing was ordered in this case. Yes, it states on the order of probation shall not use or possess any illegal substance.
And is it your opinion, while you're not an expert, that cocaine is an illegal substance?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Bumpus.
All right, any additional witnesses, Ms. Horn?
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to call, I believe Officer Gaiman.
Yes.
Okay, good morning, Officer Gaiman. I'm Tamika Horn. I'm the prosecutor for this matter, and I'm gonna ask you a few questions regarding screening.
Ms. Horn?
Yes, ma'am.
I need to swear him in.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Gaiman, do you raise your right hand, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I swear, yes.
Put your hand down. You may proceed.
Thank you.
Okay, please state your name for the record, sir.
Samuel Joseph Gaiman, the second.
And where are you currently employed?
Affordable Testing Services. I manage that location, Detroit East, Detroit West, as well as the Hazel Park location.
Okay, and what is your title?
Manager.
Okay. And how long have you been a manager in this capacity?
Since 2005.
Okay. And please describe any training you've received regarding screening.
All my training came from Michigan Department of Corrections, where basically that's what we did for those that were incarcerated. I also attended a DOT class as far as extended testing for DOT training as well. But base of my testing and experience came from Michigan Department of Corrections.
And in your testing position, what did your training teach you to look for in screening?
Basically, in our screenings, we do everything on site. Our screenings is known as what they call as the ICA. It's monochromatography assay. And what this is, it does identify if a certain metabolite that was in the urine, and if it is, we do what they call a secondary testing and send it to the lab to identify and confirm that that metabolite in the specimen.
And have you had the opportunity to screen or test Miss Dachkanov? Can you pronounce your name for me? I don't want to keep messing it up.
Diaconal.
Diakonov, thank you.
Yes. So actually, I was the tester on that day. Miss Colette, Miss Diaconal failed to report on her testing day. which was on 10/27. She came in on the 10/29, and provided a personal test. The test was given. It identified that it was a testable specimen, meaning as we do the validity test, make sure that the specimen is testable. From that step, then we do and go into testing. At the time of testing, I identified to Ms. Collette that she needed additional testing because we had identified that cocaine and THC was identified. I let her know. She did again explain to me that she does have a THC or RX for THC. But as I explained to her, is that the cocaine would be something that she would have to have labs to get additional testing going.
And so where do you send those? I'm sorry, where do you send those additional labs? Are they outside of ATS or inside?
Yes. No, they're outside. So we have a mother laboratory, which is known as Abbott. Abbott
Okay.
is yes, ma'am.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's Abbott, and Abbott is a recognized and it's a CLIA certified laboratory where they also do the testing. Their protocol is they will do they'll do their initial test. Once the metabolite
I'm going to object to him testifying to someone else's protocol. And I don't know, has the court, is he being considered to be an expert? Because I haven't heard testimony that qualifies him.
Oh.
Are you presenting him as an expert or just what's an offer of proof?
An offer of proof, Your Honor, to state to the point of him handling her testing from his side of it and what he analyzed as far as the test results when they came back.
So, yeah.
I'm objecting to his qualifications to analyze the results. I don't think he's an expert. I don't think he's been qualified as an expert.
Okay. And do you have any, Mr. Gaiman, do you have any certifications to screen?
Yes, I do have certification. That my screening came from the Michigan Department of Correction. We do our training every year. As far as the expert or what is requested is if the information is sent to a laboratory. So therefore, as far as confirmation wise, if she's identifying the confirmation process, that was actually done. So the specimen was then collected and then sent to a certified laboratory, which the information as far as documentation has been presented to the courts, which that information is done by and is cleared by a doctor. So
okay. And I'm going to ask you a question about on the date of 10/27/2022. Did you have an appointment set up to see Miss Dianca?
No, ma'am. She came. It was a personal test. Therefore, she came at her will. That's what it is identified in on 10/29. It identifies that was a personal walk-in test.
Okay, and I guess one of the questions I'm asking is, you mentioned that she failed to report on October 27th of 2022. Is that correct?
It is. That was the day that her group, and she's set up in a group. Her group is known as Rose. Rose represents one time a month.
Okay.
Once her group is.
No, I'm listening.
Yeah. No. I'm sorry. Once her group is called, her group are required to report. When clients fail to report, that information is being sent over to the court as a failed to report. Thereafter, the clients, many of them will either come in and do a personal test, or they would not come in at all.
Okay. And have you had any other opportunities to work with the defendant here?
She has tested at our facility before. She tested on 9/29. 2022 there. We had also a positive test that was identified. Let's call it required. She was also required to send it out for additional testing to get level. She declined and requested a decline of lab, which basically she declined the lab services for that and accepted the one-site test of the cocaine and THC being
if you recall, how often has the test come back showing for other drugs, cocaine specifically?
This will be the second time. This time that from the time of 9/22, we then required again per the protocol. She sent the test on 10/29, which makes it a total of 2 times cocaine was identified in the specimen. The one on 10/29 again was sent to a laboratory to get additional testing, which was cleared and done by a certified doctor.
And just for purposes of the record, would you say that all these tests that you found to be positive for other drugs, was this after she was placed on probation by this court?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Nothing further right now, Your Honor. Thank you, Officer Gaiman.
No problem.
Officer Gaiman, are you aware that she's on medication for chemotherapy and she's receiving chemotherapy?
No, ma'am.
You're not?
That information has not been provided to me. We basically don't. She indicated that she has taken medication. That medication that we're aware of is the RX of THC. That's the only thing that we have is recorded.
So you did not test the medication yourself, correct? I mean, you did not test the samples once they left your office, correct?
No, ma'am. That was sent to a certified laboratory.
And you were not there when anything was certified, were you?
I'm not. I don't work in that laboratory, ma'am. I work for Affordable Testing Services, not Abbott. No, ma'am.
So it wasn't even your company that tested it, correct?
Abbott is our mother testing company. We're not affiliated with it, but they are our background testing facility. Yes.
And you would indicate that she missed one test, but she came in a couple days later and tested positive cocaine for that time?
Yes, ma'am.
I have nothing further, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, the people do not intend to call any other witnesses, so the people would simply be closing.
Mrs. Mistaroki?
I believe my client wants to testify.
Ms. Giacono, can you raise your hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Put your hand down.
Ms. Giacono, you've heard the testimony today, correct?
Yes.
And you heard them indicate that you missed a screening?
But I went back 2 days later because I was sick and I didn't make it.
And why were you sick? What was your
Because I just had my chemo treatment.
And how long have you been receiving chemotherapy for?
I just did my 4th round since September.
And
I've been doing chemo.
are you on other medication also related to your treatment?
Yes.
Have you relayed that medication to the facility you're testing at?
I had told them about it. Yes. I didn't give them the name of the drugs, but yes, I did tell them I was on chemo and that I couldn't figure out why I was testing positive. So I looked it up on Google, and it said that it would cause a false positive test for drugs. And I have not put anything other than what I'm supposed to be I'm doing chemo. Why would I do that? That's what I don't get. I mean, so that's all I got to say on that is no, I did not do that.
And you signed up for your treatment, correct?
Yes.
And you do plan to attend your treatment?
I have been.
And how long are you going to be on chemo for, do you know?
Well, as far as I know right now, until January 4th is my last one. And then they're going to do back-to-back lung surgery on me.
When's that going to be?
Probably around the middle to the end of January.
And will you be able to provide documentation to your probation agent regarding your medication and what treatment you have coming up?
I sent her the name of the drug. And yes, I can. I will send it. Yes.
I have nothing further, Your Honor.
Any cross, Ms. Horn?
I'd like to first start out by, giving you my sincerest apologies about what you're going through now. I only have a few questions, Ms. Diakonov.
Okay.
You stated that you did fail to report, but then you showed up a couple
Yes,
of days
ma'am.
later.
Yes, ma'am.
You do realize that is a violation.
Yes, I do, but I was too sick to go. I just had my chemo.
Also, you have not provided the name of the drug to your probation officer, I
Yes,
believe,
I
who was
did.
Miss. And when
Yes,
was
I
that
did. I
provided?
emailed it to her. Yes, I did.
And when was that provided?
After the first failed drug test. I had to figure out how I got that in my system or how it showed up like that. But
And
I did send her the name of the drug.
okay. And are you on a variety of drugs for your treatment?
I get 2 different chemos pumped in every 21 days, and I have to take 2 different pills for 4 days after I get my chemo.
And as far as for THC, how is that ingested?
I do edibles. I do not take any pain pills. I also suffer peripheral neuropathy, and the chemo is really messing with that too. But I don't take pain pills. I do the edibles.
Okay.
And
And
then
you
I
said
got my card. She told me Miss Bumpus told me to get my medical card, and I did.
okay. And as far as what we were talking about earlier, as far as mention of cocaine being found in your test, is that one of the ingredients that make you test positive? And do you know the name of that ingredient for the record?
I do believe that is one of the reasons why I'm failing that test like that. I kept the bottle.
Mr. Jackanow, I don't
Yes.
want you to guess.
No, I got it right here, the bottle.
Okay, just, yeah. 'cause you-
Olanzapine.
Yeah, hold on, because you stated you do believe, so I don't want you guessing.
Oh, that's the only, I'm not doing it. How much is that getting in my system? I'm not doing it.
So the
That's what I'm trying to
judge
tell
is
you.
just, ma'am,
Yes.
calm down. The judge is just trying to say that she doesn't want you to say it's a guess. That
Oh, okay.
that's just what you think it is based upon what you looked up.
Right. That's it. What I looked up. Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, ma'am. No further questions.
Thank you.
No, no recross, Your Honor.
Excuses the witness, Mr. Jackanow. Any additional witnesses, Ms. Roki?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you rest. Any rebuttal witnesses, Ms. Horn?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, argument.
Just a brief closing. Ms. Bumpus, Officer Bumpus, Officer Gaiman, in addition to Ms. Dijakonov, both stated that there was some trace of cocaine in the system. All of these occasions occurred after she was put on probation in August of 24th of 2022, I believe. She admitted to missing a class, albeit it was for a possible excusable reason, but she did miss that day. In addition to failing report that is referenced by Officer Gaiman, in addition to Officer Bumpus. There's at least been 2 failure to reports in the paperwork. The people have no other information that we'd like to put on the record, but we do believe that we've crossed our burden showing that there has been at least, if not one, probation violation, Your Honor. Thank you.
Your Honor, my client did admit that she didn't report to have a drug test on the day that she was supposed to because she was sick, and she indicated she went in a couple days later. I think none of us are, just to think that someone would do cocaine and then walk in and get tested when they missed the original date. I think everyone can agree is kind of preposterous. My client is not before the court initially for any cocaine use. The probation could not say that there's any history of cocaine use in her history or her background. There wasn't any positive testing until after she became on the chemotherapy. We don't know what the effects of the drugs she's on has on her testing. We don't even have a chain of custody regarding the results of the drug test. We don't know who performed the test. We don't have a chain of custody saying that the tests weren't tampered with or altered with. I don't really even think those tests should be considered because I don't think there's satisfactory evidence before this court to substantiate them in particular. But I think that my client needs to provide the information, before she tests so they can see if that is in fact what is affecting her results. And she's not been drinking since, Your Honor. She's having a hard time. I'd asked the court to continue her probation. She's going to start the treatment on the 6th. Probation agent has that information. Go forward.
Other argument, Ms. Horn?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Court heard testimony from a total of 3 witnesses from Probation Officer Bumpus that Ms. DeJacquinal, she would do drug tests at affordable testing services, and she had requirements of probation were that she was to attend outpatient treatment, AA, drug testing, not consume alcohol, highway safety analysis, and that she did in fact test positive for marijuana on September 2nd, 2022. She does have a medical marijuana card. Test positive for cocaine September 22nd, 2022. October 27, 2022, she failed to appear for testing, which is also deemed to basically be a positive, but is also a violation of probation. And then that on October 29th, she tested positive for cocaine and marijuana. She did provide proof as of recently that she is attending outpatient treatment, and she did show proof that she is attending AA. Mr. Gaiman, who's the manager at ATS, he testified that he was the tester on October 27th when Ms. DeJacquinal failed to appear. She did, on her own accord, appear on October 29th, and that is when she tested positive for cocaine and THC were identified in her drug screen. Ms. DeJacquinal, she testified that she's on chemo and that she missed October 27th because she didn't feel well from doing the chemo, and that she, doing research, learned that chemotherapy can cause false negatives in drug screen. She was adamant that she did not take any illegal substances. Honestly, it wasn't clear to the court if she's denying the marijuana usage either, but she does indicate that she, for the cocaine, she did not do that. Based on the testimony that has been, or the evidence that's been provided, I mean, the court does in fact find that Mrs. DeJacquinal did violate her probation. I mean, she admitted herself that she did fail to drug screen on October 27th, even though she indicates that she has a valid reason for missing it. Nevertheless, it is a violation. She, not until recently, and it was in fact after the violation had been filed that she provided proof of the that she was attending AA and outpatient services or treatment. And then the court does in fact believe that she did provide positive screens for cocaine and for the THC. I know she denies using it, but I'm just not convinced, the court's not convinced that it was the chemotherapy that caused these positive screens. So with that, the court will violate Ms. DeJacquinal's probation. Do we have a recommendation? Are we prepared to proceed to sentencing today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. The probation department would recommend that Mr. DeJacquinal attend the treatment as recommended by the agency. We would also recommend at this time that she submit to drug screening on a weekly basis until the middle of January. And we would request that a review hearing be held sometime in the middle of January to reevaluate if she is complying with this court's order, Your Honor, and to see where she's, how she's screening, if her screenings have been clean or if there's continued cocaine in her system.
Any argument, based on what?
I
Ms.
think that,
Bumpus-
you know, she's gonna have to submit the drugs she's using to them, and they're gonna have to do a double cross check when they know what medications she's using, because even the drug testing man indicated he didn't know she was taking any other drugs. So we don't know if those affected her results or not. I know the court's indicating you believe she used cocaine, but I mean, going forward, if it is testing positive, making a false positive, how are we gonna resolve it?
I agree. If Mr. Jacqueline is taking any kind of medication, she needs to submit that to probation. She needs to let them know of all the medications that, because Officer Bumpus has already testified that she hasn't had any proof outside of Mr. Jacqueline informing her that she's doing chemotherapy, but there hasn't been any doctor's notes, nothing. So she does need to show proof that she's in fact doing chemotherapy and of all the medications that she's taking.
Okay.
When she drug tests, they have to have those list of medications too, because otherwise it's never gonna, you know.
And the people would adopt the recommendation of probation officer Bumpus, in addition to the suggestion and recommendation by counsel here, that a list of all drugs need to be submitted to Ms. Bumpus, so that everyone's aware of what's being prescribed and what her treatment entails.
Okay.
Your Honor, if I may,
Yes.
I would request that Mr. Jacqueline submit something from her pharmacy, a list of medications, not just writing down what she's taking, but a formal list from her
Okay.
pharmacy, a formal list.
Now that's fair.
Okay. I can do that.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And the chemo too, the list of the chemo.
I can do that.
All right, so we are gonna set this for a hearing in January. You said like mid-January?
Yes, Your Honor.
We'll do January 17th at 8:35.
So Your Honor, just for clarity, you are ordering that she test weekly now?
Yes, she is, yes,
Thank you.
8:35. So January 17th at 8:35 is the next hearing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, we still have